"The world doesn't care about the cries of the broken," whispered Serhiy, a Ukrainian soldier, as he tightened his grip on the rifle, staring into the cold, endless darkness beyond the trenches. In the heart of war-torn Ukraine, where blood stains the snow and the skies roar with the echoes of Russian artillery, the ground trembles not just from missiles, but from fear. A fear more haunting than death itself, the fear of abandonment. The whispers of Washington's potential withdrawal of support had reached every corner of the Ukrainian resistance. It was a rumor that sliced through the hearts of soldiers and civilians alike, leaving them suspended in uncertainty. For nearly 2 years, Ukraine stood as the world's last shield against Russian imperialism, fueled by American weapons and Western solidarity. But now, as political tides shift in the United States, the very lifeline that kept Ukraine breathing is slipping away. And with it, hope. A nation born in fire. To understand Ukraine's struggle, one must dive into the soul of a nation forged in fire. From the Maidan Revolution of 2014, where thousands stood against corruption and Russian puppetry, to the annexation of Crimea and the relentless assault on Donbass, Ukraine's people have been at war for their identity, their sovereignty, and their right to exist. Among the fighters was Dmytro, a former artist from Kiev who once painted dreams on canvas, but now paints vengeance on the battlefield. "We are not fighting for NATO. We are not fighting for America. We are fighting for the soil beneath our feet, for the memories of our ancestors, and the dreams of our children." Yet, without U.S. military aid, the skies would be left unguarded, the tanks would run dry, and the trenches would collapse under the weight of Russian aggression. The political theater in Washington. Thousands of miles away, in the marble halls of Washington, the debate raged. American politicians, driven by selfish agendas and upcoming elections, questioned the billions flowing into Ukraine. The narrative shifted from defending democracy to protecting American interests. "Why should American taxpayers fund a war that isn't theirs?" echoed Senator Grant, a rising figure in the isolationist movement. His words struck fear in Ukrainian hearts, for they knew, without American missiles intercepting Russian rockets, Ukrainian children would die in their sleep. The Kremlin watched with a sinister grin as cracks formed in the West's unity. Russia's strategy was never just about missiles and soldiers. It was about patience. And now it seemed that patience was paying off. The invisible battle of the people. In the battered city of Bakhmut, where the streets were now graves and the buildings whispered stories of fallen heroes, an old woman named Yevgenia boiled potatoes over a makeshift fire. Her son, Bohdan, had died defending the front line. Yet, her wrinkled hands refused to tremble. "If America abandons us, we will fight with sticks and stones. We have survived Stalin's famine. We have survived Soviet tanks. And we will survive this." Her words echoed the unyielding spirit of Ukraine, a spirit that neither bombs nor betrayal could extinguish. The geopolitical domino effect. If the U.S. withdraws, Ukraine's defense will crumble. But the consequences won't stop at Kiev's borders. Eastern Europe would be next. Poland, the Baltics, and even Moldova would face Russian aggression. NATO's credibility would shatter, and Putin's empire would stretch to the edge of Europe. "Ukraine is the wall that holds back the storm," said Alexander, a Ukrainian intelligence officer. "If that wall falls, Europe will drown." China, Iran, and North Korea watch closely. If the West betrays Ukraine, authoritarian regimes worldwide would be emboldened. Taiwan would be next. the global balance of power would tilt, and democracy itself would be on its knees. The Last Stand. As dawn cracked over the Dnipro River, the Ukrainian army stood with trembling hands and weary eyes, but with hearts that refused to surrender. They knew that Washington's decisions were beyond their control, but their duty was not. In a secret underground bunker, President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed his people. "If the world turns its back on us, we will fight with our hands. If the skies fall, we will fight in the shadows. Ukraine will never bow, for freedom is not given. It is taken with blood and sacrifice." And in that moment, Ukraine's fate hung between the political games of the West and the undying resilience of its people. Shall I continue weaving deeper character arcs, more historical analysis, and geopolitical twists?